Hey, folks, what's up? This is The Hungry Bleak presents Comics Culture Top 10 Indie Comics that are primed and ready for adaptations, and they can rival Marvel and DC really easily. Let's go. Folks, what's up? I'm Antonio Pomares, aka The Hungry Bleak, and this gentleman here with me is, as always, my co-host, Robert Jeffrey, writer, creator, man about town, and Bojangles enthusiast. I had to do that in there, brother. I'm sorry. And we have got our top 10 indie comics that can easily rival Marvel and DC in the adaptation world, and they're awesome. So, Robert, we're going to start with you. Hit them up.
Yeah. So my first choice is a brand at this point, an IP called One Nation, published by 133 Art or 133 Art Publishing. And the universe at this point tells the story of a group of superpowered individuals called Karamats. And the bulk of our protagonists work for an organization or with an organization called the 10th Foundation. The thing that I love about this is that they're trying to right the ills of the world, but this nonprofit is not waiting on like the world governments or like huge corporations to say like come save us. They are hitting those problem areas of our world, and using their abilities to save, so it's not necessarily going to fight crime. It's basically how do we fix climate, how we, climate change, how do we at one point, stop the strife that's taking place during the 1992 uprising, after the Rodney King verdict. So the cool thing about this universe is that it hops around in time. So it's at times it's a period piece, at times it's set in the far, near future, but you have a lot of superheroic action mixed in with some really awesome commentary. So it's a combination of X-Men meets My Hero Academia. So I think it's prime for adaptation as a live action animation, TV series, or as of course film, the series of films.
Definitely does, and it's awesome as hell. I'm going to go with Concrete Comics Universe. Lonzo Starr and his incredible group of creatives and writers and artists over there are doing it big on Concrete. Concrete has a wonderful mix of sci-fi. They have supernatural, and they have this incredibly a colorful cast of characters. Everything from a spacefaring black man, which I love. The fact that the costumes are, first off, the art is just so dazzling and beautiful. It looks like it's already made for and ripe for adaptation. Whether it's live action, I would love to see live action. Are you serious? Live action, and then going from that, especially being in space, and I can imagine the cloak and the hood, diabolical. But then you also have this incredible force of women characters and superheroes, with just the most dazzling of powers. What I love about it is that every book has its own feel, its own personality, its own signature, let's say. And that is what I would want in a cinematic universe, whether live action or animated, what have you, or even series, is the fact of you'll have different worlds and different feels. I don't want everything to feel the same. Yeah. Every book feels different. It has a different, like I said, different signature. And that's what I want in my universe. I want to have this book that's in space. I want to have this book that's in the streets. I want to have this book that's maybe a journey, some type like sword and fantasy kind of a thing. I want that type of feel for it, but knowing that it's all still held within the same universe. That's one of the things that really drew me to Concrete Comics was its variety and the fact that their characters look like me and they look like people that I know and that I love. And that is what's really important to me. All right.
So for me, my next choice it's going to be, I said Radiant Black, but I'm just going to do the Massiverse.
Oh, yes, yeah.
The Massiverse is huge. Not sorry to, I don't want to say it's massive. Published by, it's the brainchild of Kyle Higgins and a group of other creatives through Image Comics. I tell, especially, I think it's Power Ranger fans and is it Sentai fans?
I
It's
want to say yes.
Yeah, Sentai. Like if you're a fan of that, you need to get on with the Massiverse. And it's taking that aesthetic or that genre, I think, of superhero science fiction, and bringing it to I guess, a modern audience, but also with a lot of like serious stuff that adults deal with or whatever. So
Mhm.
it's it's a combination of different books, including Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, The Dead Lucky, Infernal Girl, No One, Radiant Red, Radiant Pink, and Cow. And it's like 8 or 9 titles, which where the superpowered beings, um, against this backdrop of like I said, the kind of the Sentai Power Ranger style of sci-fi action. This is a very like low level pitch, but they all receive these different abilities via these things called radiant, right? Is that, am I explaining? Yeah, radiant. So um, the with the amount of action and kind of like galaxy spanning sci-fi that you have, I feel that this could work really well at adapting this as a series of films. I think that would get you, maybe for like the kind of the street level stories like How, and even Rogue Sun, which I think would be perfect as kind of a standalone, like TV series set in New
Hmm.
Orleans. Something like, though, like Radiant Black, I think also Radiant Red and Infernal Girl. I need that on the big screen. So it could be this thing of where you have Marvel, then kind of the Marvel thing of like a film, TV series type of thing, but not to the point where fans feel that they're being inundated, with too much. But I do feel that some of these stories are large enough that they belong primarily on the big screen. The Massiverse, I mean, there might even be something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about because this universe is so popular. But I do feel that this image title or series of titles would be prime for adapting, as for a new generation of fans to jump on board with.
Yeah, definitely is. And I mean, it is massive. That's not just a tagline. It is massive. It truly
Yeah.
is. So for me, I'm going Wingless Comics universe. Where do I begin? There's an angel. There's Lucifer. There's a bounty hunter, which has one of the best variant covers after Purple Rain. Not gonna lie, that's one of the best. I love if you give me something that's a variant of a Prince album cover, I'm all on board. You have Justice, you have Caliburn, you have her. There's so much going on with them with Wingless Comics, and it's incredible. Again, you're getting that variety, but I love the fact of seeing Black Angels. I love
Mhm.
seeing Black Angels, whether they have locks, whether they have froze. Well, you don't see very many angels with froze, do you?
Not that I can think of. Not that
Okay.
I can think of.
All right, message y'all, message. Angels will. I just love seeing Black Angels, and then we have the other side where we have um, Lucifer, who is obviously a slick talking um, white man. He can't. He can't. He can't. And then we have this bounty hunter, and we have her, which is from the incredible imagination of Malachi Bailey.
Yeah.
When you start the story off with a black angel with locks, you already have me in. Then you add in this incredible crossover story of justice and how it drops in little characters like that's you setting the table for a world that I want to check out and see because it just looks awesome. And I love that fact. Wingless Comics has just been on fire with their Kickstarters, with their comics, and everything that they've got going on. Brian Lambert is just out there
Yeah.
busting it down, doing what it is to do to be there, and he looks like he's having the time of his life. You know, like that's what I love seeing. I love seeing when I see creatives having the time of their life like that. That's when I know, okay, I need to jump into this. If you're lamenting over every single thing, I can't mess with you. But when you look like you're having fun, you're enjoying these books. I'm feeling it in your books. Definitely on point. So Wingless Comics, definitely. I would love to see Wingless. I think a lot of these I would want to see at home, truthfully, on a streaming service. I want to watch you each week. But definitely, if you're giving me a movie and I see those wings pop out, I'm done. I'm done. I'm instantly done. So Wingless Comics, the entire universe, yeah, give it to me.
Nice. So the next, I guess, one on my list is Okamus or Okimus. I think we were, speaking, it was in the green room
Yes.
about like the pronunciation, but Okamus by Ray Comics. One of the great things about, I think, each of the selections on our list is that there's like a variety of, we just have a wide variety. So it's not just like superheroic action. It's not just like huge sci-fi. It's not horror. It's like you have a hodgepodge of stuff. And Ray Comics is another publisher that there are multiple titles where you would be able to kind of choose like to be adapted. But I think Alchemist is perfect. And it's funny because I think I have two like Sentai inspired titles on here. Yeah, because Alchemist is like it's described as a sci-fi martial arts thriller with these people who can get these sort of like super suits, which endows them with like superhuman abilities. The other thing, and I think like there might be kind of a time jumping vibe that I'm enjoying with some of my choices, because this goes back to like 133 art and One Nation. There's definitely a bit of like time kind of jumping, telling stories from the past and into the present day, into the future. But in this, it tells the story of a kid named a man named Kel, who it says being pursued by four mysterious superpower warriors on a mission to acquire his abilities. So between the titles that are available within this universe with Okamas, it's you have like this futuristic sci-fi vibe, but once again, I think would work perfectly on the big screen, and especially with the type of action. I think sometimes, like, unless you're Apple TV, the budgets have to be kind of pared back, with some of the stuff that we're doing. So I think sometimes it's best just to just go, big or go home. So something as huge and as massive as Okamus would work, I feel, with a big budget, either streaming movie kind of budget, or hit the theaters and then eventually come to streaming. But yeah, if you're a fan, I think of like Power Rangers or Sentai, I think like Okamus would work really well with telling this like epic kind of sci-fi action story.
Definitely does. For me, it's none other Were Spider. Okay, funny thing about this, before I knew who Greg was, before I knew about this comic, I did not like spiders. I did not mess with spiders. They go their way with all their legs. I go my way with my two legs. And the cover, the cover for the first volume of this Nana, the Were Spider, absolutely, I was like, no, absolutely not. There's no way. Ended up meeting Greg at the Black Comic Book Festival at the Schaumburg in Harlem. Nice guy, obviously had a great time. Bought the comic there, bought a T-shirt. You all know how I'm about my T-shirts. And since then, Greg has just completely, just broken down every door possible and barrier. What Greg has done is created this beautiful world with Isnana, who is Isnana is the son of Anansi, the storyteller, the African god. If you don't know, and for some, I don't know why people don't see this, look at the name Isnana. Flip it, it's Anansi. I don't know why people haven't seen that. It was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it's the story of this young this young deity who goes on a search to find out who broke down the barriers between the worlds. Greg has woven this incredible tapestry of folklore, action, horror, some jovialness with other younger characters, and has broken down his own barriers by having this incredible crossover kind of thing with other indie creators. Everything from Bounce, from from Chuck Collins, to I believe it was it Malice in Ovenland by Michelin Hess. I want to say it was Malice and not Werewolf. I want to say it was Malice. Just going across these barriers. He's even brought in other characters from folklore, like John Henry Irons.
Yeah.
In there. And each volume, you can see so much more love and attention put into it by Greg and his incredible array of artists. Greg has enough for a cinematic universe, I think, 2 series, an animated series, and a mini series. That's phenomenal, and I love it. So it's not is there. We just need somebody to come and make this truthfully like any of the other titles that we have there. Definitely on point.
Cool. So for me, the next one would be Sorghum and Spear, the brainchild of Devin Sneed and Subsume Studios. It tells the story of a group of warrior women named the Unfree warrior women, and their at this point it seems like decades battle against these hordes of demons that come to destroy and like pillage their world. But it's I the matchup that I always think of with this is kind of a Lord of the Rings type of vibe meets the Dora Milaje, and it's this all woman universe, like focused universe, with these different types of you have warriors, you have mystics, magicians, and then and these kind of brutish antagonists who are just like, we're about to run like ramshot over this universe. And I think in the this this environment where we've had the introduction of Dora Milaje with the Black Panther movies and the animated series, and then also the Warrior Queen, led by Viola Davis and an all-star cast. I think that this could either work as I see like an animated series, where the action would just be like, think of something like Castlevania, where it would be like flowing, like so fast and flowing, or it could be something as epic as, like we said, like the Black Panther films and the Warrior Queen, So, and also the Lord of the Rings series, and you see how much they keep going back to the well with that on on streaming and in film. So, I think this is kind of prime for just whatever medium for it to be adapted to, and I think that. Just like in the case of something like the Warrior Queen, we know that movies that are led by our Black women can make money. They are, and people want to see them, and we love a good fantasy adventure. So I think that Sorghum and Spear would be perfect, for adapting. And this universe is now it's spread over comic books and prose fiction. So you have it's already kind of growing outside the boundaries of comic books, So I think that there are some prime stories that you can pull from each from each of these adaptations to tell some some exciting fresh adaptations.
Most definitely. For me, next one is Crescent City Monsters. I have Dream Fury Comics. Come on, get in. Newton Lavoie and Giancarlo Esposito have done just. Excuse me, Giancarlo Bernal. I'm thinking of the actor. I don't know. I apologize, but
I was like, is he drawing?
I'm saying if he
He's
was, I'm
everything.
saying, but you know what? Both are incredible in their own mediums. I'm not mad at either one. Crescent City Monsters is basically the story of Jonas, who is a young sorcerer in New Orleans, and he's also a blues musician. uh, and he's being chased, being hunted by the monsters there in New Orleans. I love the fact that when you look at this cabal of monsters, it almost feels like um, organized crime, and
Mm,
they're coming for him. And
yeah.
I kind of love that feel, how it's mixing in the horror and kind of neo noir and uh, the organized crime feel, like the mob feel like that. And it's him finding out more about his powers and fighting them off. And then, much like you've been saying a bit, there's a bit of a time jump. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but there's a time jump, and we find out more about this world and a lot of and the denizens that are in it. I love the fact that it doesn't just focus on the human aspect of it and the quote unquote heroes or protagonists, but we also delve into the antagonists and what's motivating them, and the layers of their organization and how they're even ranked and such like that. This is
Mm,
beautiful. It also has another story that's in this universe, but not a spin-off, which is called Keisha Demon Eater. And it is exactly what the title just says. This young girl is possessed by a demon who, at the behest of her her father, to get her father's attention, she ate her demon brothers. So now this young girl is possessed by this demon and will eat other demons. Phenomenal. So these books have a beautiful mix of horror, action, some sly comedy. There's even music as well. If you read Crescent City Monsters, you will feel the music and the blues there, because the story is based in New Orleans, New Orleans.
mm.
Nola, come on, man. Come on now. Come on now. You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo! I'm about to make a name for myself here. You just make sure they know what happened the other day. Thank you, Channing, because that was ridiculous. But this is one of my favorite comics. This has a special place in my heart. Newton is just one of those writers who gets it, and he's on point,
Yeah,
but also makes it feel so vibrant and real. So Crescent City Monsters, yes, and then Keisha Demon Eater, definitely just make it happen, please.
there you go. So for me, it's Tuskegee Airs. Tuskegee Airs. I'm just it's the Greg Burnham and Marcus Williams. Y'all created. They've created. Like I'm talking to them like
All
personally.
right, look.
I remember when this concept was kickstarted, and I saw the artwork. I saw the outfits, the costumes, which were influenced by, the World War II era style of the uniforms worn by the Tuskegee Airmen, and then I'm like, okay, so let's delve further into this, and then you see like their mecha, which are inspired by, once again the historic, the planes flown by this historic group, and then it just grows into this big thing of like teenagers are going to use these mecha to save the world, and they're black, and it's natural hair and just everything. And when you look at this, this is not adapted in any form or fashion outside of an anime. I'm sorry, like this is animation. This is Gundam meets Samurai Champloo meets whatever epic action, you mecha
Cowboy
action,
Bebop,
Cowboy Bebop, yeah,
because that
like,
music
and
has to
it's
play in there. Yeah.
yeah, and it's huge, right? I would throw in even some Carol and Tuesday, just for like the music, just to mix it in, and Cannon Busters, so just real like, and just at the center of it would be these um, black teenagers with different personalities and clashing and coming together and having a good time, and it just be anime styled and humor mixed in. But that I feel would be the perfect adaptation for this story, in addition to telling the history that has influenced the comic book, and then by extension the animated adaptation. So it could be a little bit of social commentary, but then you have your big over the top action, like mecha action, kind of thrown into play. I mean, this would be a game changer. I feel that this would be a game changer, or it could be. So that would be my hope with Tuskegee Heirs.
Yeah, that's definitely anime. I mean, there's no other option for. I mean, there are other options, but anime would definitely be the chef's kiss for this.
Yeah.
For my last one, I'm going to say Catalyst Prime. Y'all know what's coming. I don't even know why y'all was playing. Because the ones that I was going to say I actually left off on the list because we're going to do another list at another time. Catalyst Prime. This was a universe full of so many different characters. You had Noble, you had Excel, you had Summit, you had Tino. No.
Yeah.
There were so many names, unfortunately. This was a great one because it had so many different characters with different personalities. You had one that was actually Noble, who was an astronaut who tried to save the world. You have another one who is this young, rich kid who ends up being being a victim, having the shards of this meteor embedded in them, and it's painful. And he was able to actually feel and use people's traumas for them. You have a character who runs super fast, who is a Latino character who runs super fast and who is able to find this slipstream where they're able to influence time and everything. You had so many different characters, so many different shades. This was one of the best things possible. This was during a very special time in my life when I was going through a very bad illness. And this is one of the things that was there. I was there when it's launched. I was there in JHU Comics with Joe Illich when it launched. I have every issue of each of these first arcs of this universe. This universe was very vast and has so many different characters and interesting characters, not just again the protagonists, but also telling us the story of the villains and the people who we think might be villains. And do we know how this meteor actually happened? And was it something that was were the astronauts actually sabotaged when they went up there to see what would happen with this meteor? So much was going on, and I implore you to get up on this, read it. If you can find something, it's a little hard to find in stores. I think it's more digital, but if you can find it in stores, definitely pick it up. It's worth it. I would recommend starting with Noble. Noble was your more traditional superhero character, and also it's a black couple in love and wanting each other. There are no annulled marriages here. But it's this beautiful thing, and it was incredible. And from there, you just have these vast array of characters that will be captivating and that will hold you. You even have a team also of this varied individuals with these abilities. I'm definitely. So, folks, those are our choices for indie comics that definitely need to be adapted. And all these universes, all these titles can rival anything from MCU and DC. That's not hyperbole. That's actually speaking facts. I don't know what else to tell you. So, folks, on behalf of myself, Antonio Pomares, and this is Robert Jeffrey, we're going to say thank you very much. You have a very good day, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.